I see blockchain as a way to transcend the concept of waste, to give value to the valueless, to give utility, to quantify the value of something that hasn't been valued before, to give this value, not necessarily capital or financial economic value as we have in the fiat currencies, but to give it value nonetheless that we can quantify.
Hi guys, welcome to the new episode of Blockchain Beyond Hype. Today we're talking with Russell Maier, the founder of the Global Ecobrick Alliance, about how blockchain technology is going to enhance his waste management project. So, we're here today with Russell. Welcome to Blockchain Zoo. We're excited to have you here to discuss your thoughts on how the blockchain technology can enhance waste management.
Lakshmini, it's a pleasure to be here. My team and I have been working on integrating blockchain with our EcoBrick project for the last 2 years, and we've got some exciting things to tell you about.
It's our pleasure. So please tell us a bit about your passion for sustainability and how you got into the blockchain. How did you come up with the idea to use it for environmental purposes?
Yeah, well, you don't have to be a genius to know there's a problem with plastic and pollution on the planet today. Yeah, all we have to do here in Bali is walk on the beaches and you see the plastic scattered all around. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go down to Kuta, we go down to Denpasar, and you see the plastic everywhere. So this is something that's been heavy on my heart for the last 7 years. My story with this begins in a small village in the northern Philippines, where I got stranded after a vacation gone wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, never in a million years would I have thought that I'd be working with this, with plastic and with blockchain in my life. However, my vacation went wrong in the Philippines, and I ended up being stranded in this small indigenous village for 4.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
For some time.
For some time. I had to totally remake my life. My finances fell apart. My passport expired. My visa expired. I was really screwed, and I had to just rebuild my life way up in the mountains in the northern Philippines, in the land of the Igorot people. These people live life completely different from how we live here in the West. And so the ideas that are now implemented into the ecobrick movements are not so much Western ideas, but Igorot concepts and ideas. There's no concept of waste.
Okay.
In the Kankanai language, there's no word for waste or for trash.
Okay.
Yeah. So this really blew my mind when I realized, as I was learning the language, they had no concept for waste. However, there was a problem with plastic up there. So my friends and I in the villages, we started working on ways on how we could transform the plastic into solutions. From this concept that plastic is not waste and not useless, that it can still have value to it, we came up with this technique of packing plastic into a bottle to make a reusable building block.
All right.
Have you ever heard of an ecobrick, Lakshmini?
No, I have not.
This is an ecobrick.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's got some weight.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So what we've done here is we've taken all the unusable plastic, we've packed it tight into a bottle, and we've kept it safe from all forms of degradation.
Okay. All right. Well, so now you're devoting the majority of your time to running an Earth enterprise. What does it involve on a daily basis?
Have you ever heard of an Earth enterprise, Lakshmini?
No, I have not.
That's because it's a brand new concept that my team and I have come up with. Have you heard of a social enterprise?
No, actually I have not.
Okay, social enterprises that's been around for a while, and those are organizations/companies that are focused on solving social problems.
Okay.
So we're an Earth enterprise, and we're 100% focused on solving Earth problems, coming up with solutions for the Earth. We're not focused on profits. We're not about growing and becoming bigger or feeding our shareholders. We're about solving plastic. This keeps me really busy.
Okay.
There's a lot of plastic in the world to be solved.
Yeah. So you came up with the very low-tech, simple idea of creating ecobricks. Could you tell us more about what it is and how they can be used?
Yeah, sure. So this is made from my own personal plastic that I've been saving up for the last month. I keep a basket in my house. I keep all my plastic clean and dry. And then at the end of the month, I pack it into a bottle and we make a brick.
That's 1 month's worth?
Yeah, this is about a month's worth of my plastic consumption, 300 grams right here. Yeah. So in my home, my chairs, my table, my garden are all made from ecobricks. Your viewers, if they want to see some great examples, they can visit our website or our YouTube channel, ecobricks.org, YouTube/ecobricks, and they can see modules, gardens, even structures that are built with these ecobricks.
Wow. All right. So how exactly does the high-tech like blockchain fit with the low-tech asset like ecobricks?
Yeah, great question. So as I've been working hard on solving plastic, it's become clear to me that there's an inextricable link between plastic and money. If you've got money, what do you do with it?
You spend it?
You spend it. And when you spend it, you're buying stuff. And what is that stuff made of?
Plastic.
Plastic. Almost everything we consume in the world today is made with plastic. And so my organization, or our Earth enterprise, we've really had to wrestle with this, because by getting money, it's like we're continuing the problem. The money we get has to be spent on traditional things. They're usually wrapped in plastic, and that just doesn't work. So I've been well aware for the last 3 years of this link between plastic and capital currency, and how to really deeply solve plastic, we have to go beneath and get to the root problem, which is the money. Money and plastic are inextricably connected. When you've got money, you buy stuff. That stuff comes wrapped in plastic. Our economy is based on petroleum, free, easy petroleum energy. Yeah? I'm not an economist, so my critique of the economy we can save for later, but I imagine most of your viewers, if they're interested in blockchain, they're already suspicious of money and capital as some of the root problems for the environmental crisis we have today, the vast gap between the rich and the poor we've got in the world today. For me, there's a systematic connection between money, plastic, and the problems we have in the world. So what better use of plastic than to create a currency that can work hand in hand, an alternative currency that can work to help solve these problems, to undermine the capital system that we have today.
Okay. So the movement which you have created around the need of diminishing unloved plastic and creating building material as a byproduct sounds excellent. So how does this connect with blockchain?
Yeah, so you can see what we're doing here, Lakshmini, is by packing the plastic into the bottle, we're creating a whole new value for plastic. In the recycling industry, we would sell this for the material value. It would have a very small value. This would be worth less than a penny, this piece of plastic here, which to me doesn't actually capture another value that the plastic has. So if I were to take this plastic and just chuck it onto the road or into the grass or onto the beach, it'd be sitting there, creating problems, degrading into toxins, into microplastics, not good, right?
Yeah.
So if I was to go and pick that up, take it out of the environment, you and I could agree that that's valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's incredibly valuable, because no longer is this plastic going to choke a whale or a turtle and cause environmental problems. Our ecobrickers around the world are doing exactly that. They're creating this ecological service, and through ecobricks, for the first time, we can quantify this value. We call it the value of the absence of plastic from the biosphere.
Okay. So there is a validation element where people have to check the density of bricks and accept them to the database or not. This looks like room for negligence or cheating.
So what happens is, after the plastic has been picked up, it's put into an ecobrick and people log it, right? So we're logging it onto our app. Our app, GoBrik.com, anyone can access, get a free account. They can log it onto our database. They get a serial number that they write on the ecobrick. They take a photo, that's uploaded, and our users then validate and authenticate the ecobricks. What we want to do is have a repository of validated, authentic information of how much plastic has been removed from the biosphere. Yeah? So anyone can go to our app, they can look up this number, they can see my ecobrick, they can see my picture, they can see that I took 300 grams out of the environment, and they can also review this ecobrick. So they can take a look at it on the system with our validators, go through it, answer questions about the photo that they see, and make sure that the data that I logged matches up with the actual ecobrick. When we have 3 people do this, and they all concur that the data lines up properly, then we consider the ecobrick authenticated.
So the production of ecobricks seems to be very labor intensive. Does ecobrick actually make sense as a building material?
Well, Lakshmini, if I were to build my home today here in Ubud, the most cost-effective way to do it would still be to buy normal bricks and to build it the traditional way. However, as a means for trapping and securing plastic, what we call sequestering, ecobricks are the best. In fact, I would argue it's one of the most cost-effective, the best way to deal with plastic in the world today. You don't need big machines, you don't need factories, you don't need governments, you don't need politicians. Anybody, you, I, can grab some plastic, start packing to the bottle, and trap it, secure it ourselves right away. Yeah? Because of this, here in Indonesia, we now have hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people, who, since I arrived here in Bali, have begun doing it. The movement is spread all over Indonesia. People are making ecobricks, and with the ecobricks they then make stools for their home, for their kids, for their school. People are now building gardens and parks out of them because we've got them, and it's a useful material.
Okay. As you're a nonprofit movement, who helped you to develop the GoBrik app platform and create tokens generated for each 100 grams of plastic transformed into ecobrick?
There are folks around the world today who are more and more aware that plastic is a problem, and these folks want to do something about it. We have an incredible team that's formed around the ecobrick intention, the movements, and also the intention for our app and for the Brikcoin currency. These folks have just come to join and contribute their talents. We've got some amazing people on the team. Stephen Dimanare, who joined you guys for your first session, I believe, a cryptocurrency expert who lives here in Ubud. Now he's in Europe consulting. He travels around the world, and he's been working with us for the last 2 years, guiding us on our trajectory as we develop this. We've got a retired programmer in the UK who's developed treasury programs for Morgan Stanley and other blue chip companies, big names, and he's helping us out now with the back-end development. My partner, Annie Himawati, she's worked for the World Bank, for the UN, around here in Indonesia and Southeast Asia with community empowerment. And we've got a bunch of other folks, Shiloh and Leon, helping with servers and with other things and with interacting with our movement.
Okay, wow. So just like Bitcoin, you have a proof of work concept involved in creating your assets, am I right?
Yes, yeah.
So just the work process is a bit different. How would you explain it to us?
It's what we call a manual proof of work system, a manual blockchain. So I mentioned before that when someone has completed their ecobrick, they log it onto our system. When it's logged, our community takes a look at it and authenticates it. This is the same kind of system that Bitcoin uses when you've got different computers that concur that the mathematical puzzles have been solved, and they agree, and then the coins are issued. The block is issued, right? So when our validators say, yes, this is a properly done ecobrick, that 300 grams have been sequestered, then we issue 3 Brikcoins for the ecobrick. So we have our currency pegged to the amount of plastic sequestered. So for every 300 grams, it's going to be 3 Brikcoins. So 1 Brikcoin equals 100 grams of plastic.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is a way that we can, one, prove how much plastic our community, our movement has taken out of the environment, and also give value to it. To be precise, 1 Brikcoin for every 100 grams of plastic.
Okay. So wouldn't solid database do the work? Why do you need the blockchain in this case?
Yeah, I really appreciate that question. Where we're at now with the GoBrik app and with Brikcoins is we have a database-based system. So it's not a cryptocurrency or a decentralized ledger yet.
Okay.
In order to deal with all the plastic that's being generated in the world, the plastic to come, the plastic that already is, we're going to need a true Earth enterprise. We're going to need millions of people working together, taking the plastic out of the environment, logging them, and creating a currency based on that. And that is going to be a big thing. That a database just can't handle. One single centralized database just can't handle that, and it shouldn't. Again, we're an Earth enterprise, so we're not focused on building a big app or a big company that'll have lots of value. We want to solve the problem. We want to solve plastic, and we want to get at the deep issues beneath it. And to do that, that's where blockchain comes in. Blockchain is a fabulous technology. We all know that. That's why you guys are listening to the program. And has the potential to solve these problems by applying it in the right way. And we feel this is the way to go. So we're building our app. We've proved our concept. Just last week, we passed 10,000 kilograms of plastic sequestered on the app.
Congratulations.
Thanks, over 10 metric tons. So that's 10 tons of plastic that's not on the beaches in Bali, that's not
Wow.
polluting rivers around the world, right? Now 10 tons is a drop in the bucket of plastic, like a city, Denpasar here in Bali probably goes through that in a day or maybe a week.
But it's a great start.
It's a start, right? It means we're onto something. We have over 30,000 users now who are using the system, and our growth curves are looking like that, right? So our trajectory and our vision, our roadmap, is to connect it with maybe an ERC20 token that would connect to Ethereum or another blockchain, where our centralized app would then connect and distribute the actual work and the creation of the Brikcoins to a decentralized ledger.
Will the value of your tokens eventually grow, and why?
That's a question that honestly doesn't concern me too much, Laxmini. Capital, growth, value increase, monetary valuation of our tokens. I know this interests a lot of other people who are developing blockchains and tokens. This isn't our priority. Our priority is solving plastic, and whether or not the value grows or doesn't is secondary to keeping that plastic out of the biosphere. So what we're working hard on is just developing the systems to enable that, to enable people to log their ecobricks, to get Brikcoins, to be able to have them in an account, to send them back and forth. However, what we are seeing is there's interest in keeping plastic out of the environment by companies. There's a demand for offsetting plastic production with something. And we feel that could be ecobricks and Brikcoins. Companies like Starbucks, who creates these plastic paper cups that get sold and trashed. Companies like Marimas here in Indonesia. I can see you're smiling. Maybe you know Marimas.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
All the little sachets.
Exactly, exactly. So we're working directly with Marimas. The CEO is concerned about his company's plastic production. They literally produce over 100 tons of plastic that's non-recyclable in Indonesia every month. So he's got his entire staff, his entire company, and himself making ecobricks as a way to take responsibility for their plastic. Now, 100 tons of plastic is a lot, right? And that's every month. So a means that they can deal with that is by offsetting their plastic production through the purchase of a token that represents plastic sequestered, which could very well be Brikcoins. And so we're hoping as an Earth enterprise, we can offer this service, this way of connecting the hard work of ecobrickers around the world to folks in companies and businesses who are concerned about their impact with plastic and want to transition from their plastic packaging to other organic materials, but the technology just isn't there yet. So this is an interim road, a means of transition, we call it plastic transition, that they can start off right away using blockchain technology.
All right. Well, this has been very interesting. Thank you for telling us about ecobricks and Earth Enterprise, which uses blockchain. We do like to ask all of our guests, how do you envision blockchain changing the world?
Yeah, well, I think I've just painted a picture for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
pretty good picture.
We see, right now, we see so many people interested in validating and working on ecobricks on our app. So they're logging them. And they're also, like, we just created the system. We didn't quite know how it would happen, whether people would engage with it or not. But wow, we've got a tremendous amount of folks in the UK now who are logging on, going through this list of ecobricks that we've got. We had a backlog of like 30,000 ecobricks. Wow. And now that backlog's only is at 1,000. And that's without, those folks who are doing it are getting a reward. They're getting the Brikcoins for doing the work, but the Brikcoins aren't worth anything yet. So what we see is that there's a tremendous motivation with folks to solve, be part of the solution, to do something practical. And that doesn't even need a financial reward. We can start to quantify that for them, and I think it's valuable to quantify it, and that's where blockchain comes in as a way to quantify values that we all know exist but haven't been quantified before. And wow, when we give something a value, that's when things change. Well, Laxmini, at the beginning of the interview, you asked me about waste management. And I talked about how the word waste is something that I don't really like the concept, or I try my best to avoid using the term waste or trash, precisely because I think that is at the root of the problem. I see blockchain as a way to transcend the concept of waste, to give value to the valueless, to give utility, to quantify the value of something that hasn't been valued before, to give this value, not necessarily capital or financial economic value as we have in the fiat currencies, but to give it value nonetheless that we can quantify. And for me, that's what blockchain is all about. this is how it can really change the world.
Okay. How do you think the market for blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
I'm excited to see blockchain solutions become more grounded. I think there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air that's not so connected to real world ecology, to people. Here in Indonesia, for example, here in Ubud, lots of people are interested in blockchain, but Ubud and Bali is just a small fraction of Indonesia. And when I get out working with folks in communities around Indonesia, no one's using blockchain. No one's using Bitcoin. They haven't even heard of it, right? And that's hundreds of millions of people, right? You've got 300 million people in your country?
I think so, something
right?
like that.
So by grounding these technologies, then we can really reach and empower hundreds of millions of people.
Okay. Well, this has been fascinating. Thank you again for coming to speak with us at Blockchain Zoo about the way that the blockchain technology can enhance waste management, or as you like to say,
plastic transition.
Plastic transition. Thank you for watching, guys. We at Blockchain Zoo are excited to bring you our new guest on our next episode.